I'm Chevy, and today on the Daily Shed, we discuss the western lowland gorilla, Harambe. Hello, friends! It is Tuesday. Welcome to the shed. It is hot outside. It's not often you'll see me wearing t-shirts, but when you do, you can expect it's because either my laundry's dirty or it's hot outside. Yeah. Today we're like right in the middle of cicada season here in Appalachia. If you're not aware of what cicadas are, they are a burrowing insect that stays underground for the first 17 years of their life, and then they hatch all at once. They molt into a large flying bug, and they spend a couple of months mating, and then eggs, and then they're gone. So this phenomenon happens every 17 years. And right now on the East Coast, we are dead smack in the middle of this hatch and this molting. And if you go outside right now, I live in a fairly rural, tree-covered area, and it is loud outside. Like, hard to hear people talking on the phone if they're outside loud. I might have to do like a segment, go outside segment, and show you. But like even riding my motorcycle today, I rode a couple of back roads just because I like to change my path home. And it's like going around a couple of turns, I was just suddenly just so loud I couldn't even hear my motorcycle running. Crazy. So I love the heat. Don't get me wrong. I've ridden every day for the past 2 weeks, and I absolutely love it. But the bugs are, number one, they're really loud. Number two, they're really big. They're like probably a couple inches, maybe 5 centimeters. And man, if you get hit with one of those things on a motorcycle, they can hurt. So the good news is they're big enough, and their wings are like this goldish, glittery color. So when they're flying, you can see them. And I've had to dodge a few, like with my head, that have come at my head. One hit me in the knee today, I was pretty slow, so no big deal. But what I really wanted to talk today about is Harambe, the gorilla. The western lowland gorilla that was recently shot at the Cincinnati Zoo. And the reason I want to talk about this is not the gorilla. It's not what happened. There's no change in that. But the aftermath of that is honestly kind of disgusting. Okay? So I saw this article today about this petition that was started by Sheila Hurt. Sheila Hurt started a petition on change.org to punish the parents for the death of this gorilla. Not the zoo, not life in general, but the parents of this child. So if you're not aware of what happened, over the weekend, a family was visiting the Cincinnati Zoo. A 3-year-old child fell into a gorilla enclosure and was roughly handled by this gorilla. And the zoo made the decision to kill the gorilla in order to save the child. Period. Okay? It is an endangered species. The western lowland gorilla is definitely endangered. There's no denying that. But this is a human life we're talking about. So this lady, this Sheila Hurt, I just want to read you part of this petition. A sad incident at the Cincinnati Zoo has prompted this petition. An unattended 4-year-old boy, he wasn't 4, was able to crawl through a series of barriers at the Gorilla World enclosure. The child fell an estimated 10 to 12 feet into the moat surrounded by the habitat. 17-year-old male western lowland gorilla named Harambe then got a hold of the boy. The gorilla was perceived as dragging and throwing the boy. Perceived as? There's some pretty solid video evidence that this gorilla was treating this boy pretty harshly. The zoo made a last resort decision to shoot Harambe because of the increased risk of aggression of a tranquilizer used in such close proximity to a human. Essentially, if they would have tried to trank it, the gorilla probably would have got pissed, and before the tranquilizer could take effect, he might have taken it out on the child. This heartbreaking decision was made in the best interest of keeping the child and the public safe. This beautiful gorilla lost his life because the boy's parents did not keep a closer watch on the child. We, the undersigned, believe that the child would not have been able to enter the enclosure under proper parental supervision. Witnesses claim they heard the child state that he wished to go to the enclosure and was actively trying to breach the barriers. This should have prompted the parents to immediately remove the child from the vicinity. It is believed that the situation was caused by parental negligence, and the zoo is not responsible for the child's injuries and possible trauma. We want the parents to be held accountable for the lack of supervision and negligence that caused Harambe to lose his life. And this, by the way, this had 345,617 supporters at the time I checked this position. Listen, I have 2 girls. Both of them have been 3 at some point in their life, and both of them at that and around that age did things that I probably should be in trouble of as their father. Did any of them fall into an enclosure? No. The report that I read said that this boy crawled under a handrail, through some wiring, and fell over the wall, climbed up the wall and over the wall into this gorilla's enclosure. Now, it doesn't matter. The point of the fact is, the gorilla was a danger to this child. How this child ended up where he did, it happened, okay? Obviously, the other onlookers, which there were many if you've seen the videos, did nothing. They stood and watched. Or something might have been screamed or yelled before the boy fell into the enclosure. Sure, it's not their problem. It's not their child that they should be looking out for. But listen, we've all been kids, and we've all been mischievous, and we've all done things that shamed our parents. This one happened to be an extremely dangerous situation. It happens. We're not going to hold it against some family. That's just outrageous. Yeah, if they had locked their 3-year-old in their car on a hot summer's day and he died of heat exhaustion, sure. Okay, that's gross negligence. They were taking their kid out for a family outing and something bad happened. Period. How that came to be, that's not for 370-some thousand people to decide. And first of all, you signed an online petition. That's like, you might as well just write a note to yourself saying, man, I wish this hadn't happened, and then throw it away. That's essentially what will come of this. Granted, we could use this opportunity to point to the atrocities that happen in Western Africa that has caused this gorilla to become extinct, and we could do something actionable. We could donate to charities that are helping with the destruction of the Congo forest. We could donate to charities that are helping preserve the wildlife that we are destroying in Africa. And by donate, that doesn't have to be money. You could donate time. All of these organizations need help. Signing a petition to have parents punished because their child escaped their attention for 30 seconds or however long it took for him to get in this enclosure, that's just freaking outrageous. Period. You're just stupid. I cannot imagine the grief those parents felt at that point in time. And I can't imagine how scared they are currently for their child's life, let alone to be threatened by a bunch of imbeciles on the internet. Stupid. That's really all I wanted to say. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Tomorrow we're going to be back in the workshop. I'm going to talk a little bit about tools. If you have any specific tools you want me to talk about, please leave that in the comments below, and I will cover that on a future episode of Workshop Wednesdays. Please don't forget, if you would like to get a fancy postcard, send me a letter at thedailyshed.com/contact is my mailing information. I would love to send you a postcard. I would love to get a letter from you. I enjoy connections. Thank you guys for stopping by. I will catch you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from Merriam-Webster.com. What is the Free Silver Movement? Free Silver Movement, late 19th century U.S. political movement that advocated unlimited coinage of silver. Proponents included owners of Western silver mines, farmers who wanted higher crop prices, and debtors who believed an expanded currency would allow them easier payment. I've never heard of that. I'm going to have to go look that up. What does unlimited coinage of silver mean?